he's still the supervisor, so.
Right, the show must go on, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking
But
for any attachment.
I kind of figured he was some relation to you. It was
September 4th.
I got 1 minute. Okay. I've got 6 o'clock. We will call the Tax Increment Finance Authority meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is roll call. Mr. Alberts? He is supposedly on Zoom. His name is on there, but I don't hear him. He's not showing up. I mean, his name's on the screen, but his camera's not turned on, and I don't hear any audio. Well, yeah. Hey, Grant, we can't hear you if you want to turn your mic on. All right, we'll move on. Ms. Coley Andrews, Ms. Croft. Here. Mr. Johnson, Mr. Schramm. Here. Mr. Recke.
Here.
Mr. Moran is here. Mr. Perret.
Here.
Mr. Philo. Here. Mr. Todd.
Here.
Mr. Swanson. Mr. LaDuca. And Mr. Roth.
Here.
Can hear you fine. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. Motion by Mr. Schramm, supported by Mr. Philo to approve the agenda as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Item number 3 is a motion to approve the August 11th, 2020 meeting minutes and dispense with the oral reading.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Perret,
Support.
supported by Mr. Todd. Under the minutes, there is one item that I think we need to correct, and that is in the second item. It says there was a motion by Mr. Alberts. Oh, I'm sorry, there was.
It's the first motion to approve the agenda.
Yes, there's the first item is a motion by Mr. Alberts, and then it has him abstaining. I don't think if he made the motion, he would end up abstaining. So if you could make that change that he voted in favor versus abstaining. Mr. Perret, you made that motion, correct?
Yeah, that's fine.
Are you okay with that change? And Mr. Todd, you okay
Yes.
with the change? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Item number 4 is a motion to receive and file the August 2020 Tax Increment Finance Authority Financial Report. Motion by Ms. Croft,
Support.
supported by Mr. Recke. Jason?
Yes, good evening, everybody. Just on the financial report, there's not much going on, as you can see by the report itself. We got some tax collection revenue recognized, and we also have a few contractual professional services, and then the quarterly overhead cost. So not much going on. I know there is stuff going on right now, but we haven't been billed yet, so we recognize when we get invoiced at this time of the year. So not much going on, so I don't have any prepared comments, just not a whole little activity. And also there's no projects completed during the month, so there is no project reported as well. So there is some carryover that we'll talk about during the budget amendment agenda item, but as right now, there is not much going on in the actual activity.
Okay. Any comments or questions on the financial report? Hearing none, we have a motion by Ms. Cross, supported by Mr. Recke. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion carries. Item number 5 is a motion to approve the Detroit Region Aerotropolis Development Corporation annual dues for the fiscal year 2020 and 2021 for the amount of $25,000.
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Perret. Supported by Mr. Schramm. Chris is here today to give us an update. If, Chris, you want to take the podium and you might want to introduce yourself and kind of go through, everybody should have a report here that he's put together, and if you want to walk us through that.
I do, thanks. Thank you, everyone. Good to be here. It's always good to be working with George and Christia and the Taylor team. I came on board 11 months ago, moved up from Virginia. I'm originally from Michigan, from Sterling Heights, born and raised. I was gone for 11 years, but it's good to be back, close to the free babysitter. I have a 2- and a 4-year-old, so it's good to be home. I just wanted to give a quick overview of the Detroit Region Aerotropolis, what we've accomplished in the last 10 months or so, and where we're going in the future, and how the city of Taylor is playing a leadership role in that. So just a quick primer on the second slide. The Detroit Region Aerotropolis, think of us as a state, an arm of the state government. So we're not a nonprofit, we're an arm of the state government, which gives us unique capabilities to apply for state and federal funding on your behalf. And we'll talk about that a little later in the presentation. So we're a 4-community, 2-county partnership. The other communities that comprise of Aerotropolis are the cities of Romulus, Huron Township, and Van Buren Township. And if you go to the third slide, the goal under the Governor Schneider administration was to develop these next Michigan development corporations, these arms of the state, to promote economic activity where the state has a leading economic engine. And so when you think of Traverse City, they have wine, they have tourism. There's a next Michigan Development Corporation similar to us in Traverse City that promotes both business attraction and business retention activities in Traverse City. Here in Aerotropolis, the governor and his administration recognized that the airports, both Willow Run and DTW, are economic engines. And so the 4 communities surrounding the airport in the 2 counties should get together and work to attract businesses that can complement the airports. And so specifically, if you look at slide number 6, I want to jump ahead. The Transportation, Distribution, and Logistics Cluster, the Advanced Manufacturing Cluster, and Next Generation Mobility. And so when I'm out there knocking on doors and I'm looking to recruit businesses to the region, these are the industries I focus on. And so I'm not looking to recruit retail or office. We want to utilize the manufacturing talent base that put the world on wheels 100 years ago, and we want to make sure that we continue to invest and attract businesses in these specific clusters. So we'll continue on, because I want to leave some time for Q&A. On the next slide, number 7, when the next Michigan Development Corporation was organized, the state of Michigan endowed it with a unique set of incentive capabilities. They wanted these next Michigan Development Corporations to have tools. So we're not just a pure marketing agency like some economic development organizations. We're a business attraction entity, but we also have incentive granting capabilities in working with the cities and the townships. And so industrial and personal property tax abatements, renaissance zones, and also tax increment financing, of course, you're very familiar with. The unique Aerotropolis Local Development Finance Authority, the similar tax increment financing capture process, can be utilized and was utilized in the city of Romulus in 2017 to augment the city of Romulus's capture. And so if you think about stacking incentives to win a larger Fortune 500 company, the city of Taylor and its TiFA could stack an Aerotropolis LDFA capture on top of it to make you more competitive in the economic development and recruitment arena. And I'm happy to discuss how the city of Romulus used that 3 years ago to attract the 1.7 million square foot Amazon facility at length. So going to the next slide, number 8. So you have a number of large buildings, large industrial buildings that are 100,000 square foot and above. Of the 12 we are currently actively marketing, 6 of them are in the city of Taylor, and so I think you're very fortunate to have industrial property that was built. It's built in a corridor surrounded by both rail, interstate, and proximity to DTW, which is why you have a low industrial vacancy rate, but I'm happy to say I do have some product to sell here in Taylor. And then also there are 5 sites that are under 50 acres, and there's 1 site that's under 100 acres that I'm currently marketing on your behalf. So if we go to the next slide, number 9, these are some of the business attraction wins in the last 3 years where Aerotropolis was the lead.